Hey, kia ora koutou. How are we, Sachin? Lyron, Lila, good to see you again. Kia ora Kayo. Did I get that right? Za, kia ora e hoa, kia ora Maui. Kia ora Kayo, where in the world are you?
I'm in Wellington.
Oh, mean. What kura do you go to there?
Wellington College.
Ah, is there a Mr. Corkane there? He might have moved actually.
I don't think so.
Ka pai. Good to have you, bro. How are you, Elsa?
Good.
How's your day? What'd you get up to?
Not much.
Are you on holiday?
No.
Oh, how many days left?
Oh yeah, I finished school yesterday.
Oh, yeah. Not on holiday. You got all the jobs around the house to do, eh?
Mm-hmm.
I wish.
How's that? What was did you end up setting a daily challenge yesterday at all, Elsa?
I did the thing where you had to write about all the positive things.
Nice, for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Nice work. KK, where'd you go? I saw you there for a minute. Lyron, Lila, how was your day?
Good.
Cool, what'd you get up to?
I went for a walk with my dad
Oh, nice.
and me.
Who's this one?
And
Little
finished
brother?
school today.
Oh,
My little
cool.
brother.
And Prince, I saw you.
Hello.
How are you, man? How's your day?
Good, thank you. How was yours?
It is. It was a bit rainy before, and now it's warm. So, yeah. I am ready to have some kai after this, though. Some dinner after this korero. Alrighty. Sachin's just been to the dentist. Ooh, how did you feel, Sachin? What was the thoughts as you were going to the dentist? Did you catch any thoughts? And Prince, let's just start typing in the chat box for those who have been the last couple of days. How have we been going with your? Did you do your personal challenge? Some said they were going to do like push-ups, 50 a day. Some said they were going to go running. And if you did, say yes and what it was. And how many days have you been doing it? Like, have you done it 2 days in a row, 1 day in a row? Hey, Kale, this is your first one, eh? Cool, bro. So have a look in the chat box. You'll get a bit of an idea of what people chose to do. Nice, Sachin. Did you say how many numbers? How many you were going to do for push-ups? Nice, Lyron and Lila. 30. Now, remember, it had to be a goal. So, Kale, they had to set a daily task that they had to do every day that was slightly out of their comfort zone, that was maybe a little bit scary when they thought of it. So for some, it was 50 push-ups. Like that was quite a, something quite significant. All right, Maui, 9 foot, 9 point, holy haka, ka rawe, basketballer. Honey and Jill, kia ora. Good to see you again. Mean. All right, we're typing in the chat box, team, how we went with our daily challenge. Where's our share screen? Bottom. Here we go. Present. All righty. Welcome to day number 4, whānau. Well done for coming along tonight. We've got the awesome Tamati Ellison joining us in a few minutes. former All Black, current Crusaders assistant coach. So what I'd like you to start to think about is some questions, and we'll get you to type them in the box shortly. Well done, Honey and Jewel. You did your run and 50 push-ups and positive thoughts. All right, so just quickly, I want you to show Kale, this is another activity we did. You're going to have 2 minutes to type in those any positive things that you've done in the last 24 hours. All right, and for 2 minutes, you've got to go hard as you can and type in the chat box as many as possible. On your marks, set, go. 2 minutes. Type away, hard out. All the good things. All the good things. All the positives. And you can even take your thing off mute and say them out loud if you want. KK, how'd you go? What have you done that was positive over the last 24 hours?
I went for a run and I walked my dogs and
Nice.
and did my exercises.
Cool, keep going. That's 3 things. Come on, there's got to be more than that. Did you get changed today?
Yes.
Yeah, it's a win. Did you brush your teeth today?
Yes.
Yes, that's a win. All right. So Kale, anything that's been positive, we start to make a list. You can store it in one place, but we're just writing it in the chat box. Nice, Honey, Jill, we're breathing today. That's a massive win, isn't it? Walk the dog, Sachin, do the push-ups, sit-ups. Kia ora. We've got 30 seconds left, team. There should be heaps in here. Decorated the tree. All right, now just a recap from yesterday. Thank you, everyone. Nice, Kale. Basketball training. Calf raises. Went for the run. Kia ora. All right, now I'm sure there's heaps more than that. Christmas presents. Clean the room. Healthy breakfast. Got some Christmas presents for grandparents. Played with the dogs. Nice. Walking. Lyra and Lila. Finished school. Eating. Sleeping. Okay. So who can remember why we do this? Because there's a reason why we do this. You can unmute in korero or tap it in the box.
We do it because it's to help our mind to get more like positive.
Yeah, nice, Lyron. It's to help our mind get more positive. Let me go back to this. Who can remember this video?
Me.
All right. So from this video, we learned that we sometimes do what? What does our brain do? Who can remember from this video, what does our brain do? I'll put the link to this video in the Mana Mind Mighty Network Community 2 team. So for those who aren't joined up to that yet, the link is about to come into the chat box. I know there's a few of you in there, but check this link out now or at the end of the call. And this is where I'll put the link to that video. But what happens to the brain? Or what does the brain do? Why do we got to write 2 minutes of positive stuff every day, every day, every day? Honey. How come we got to write the positive stuff?
So that like our mind is positive.
Cool. What are we training? What muscle are we training to pick up the positive?
Our brain.
Yes, the brain. Nice, Sachin. Nice, Honey. And particularly, there's a part of the brain that is called our RAS, this thing in the middle here. And it's like a filter. It filters in all the good things or all the negative things, depending on what you tell it. It's kind of like a dog. You tell it to sit, it'll sit. And so if you tell it to look at all the negative things, it'll pick up all the negative things in your life. Has anyone ever woken up, gone on their way to school and go, oh, it's raining today. Oh, this is stink. Anyone thought that? Okay, well, that's the RAS or the filter picking up the negative. If it was tuned or trained to do the positive, then it could say something like, oh man, awesome, we need some water for our garden to make our kai grow. Oh man, it's just awesome to have rain because I need to get cooler, right? So our brain is like any other muscle. The more we practice or we train it, the stronger it gets around the positive. Who would like to be more positive? Thumbs up. Nice. Simple activity, whānau. We do this for the next 9 days or 8 days now. What are we up to? Maybe 7 days. But if you do this for 30 days, which we will have a 30-day challenge after this 10-day program, 30-day challenge, you're going to pick one task that you're going to do every day for 30 days, and you're going to share that on the Mana Mind TV platform. You're going to keep us in loop. But you pick one skill, you do this for 30 days, your mind's going to explode with positive things that it will see. Who would like to do more of that? Ka pai. Simple activity. You don't have to leave the house. You don't have to go to the gym. You grab a pen and a paper and you write. Okay, so we've got to train the filter. Now, before we get into Tamati, will be here in a few minutes. Who wants to tell me what this picture's about? Who wants to have a guess? Can you see it okay? Can you see the whole picture? Cool. What's it about, do you reckon? Come on, if I had a prize, someone would go first, wouldn't they?
It's not always what you expect.
Kia ora, Sachin. Nice. It's not always going to be what you expect. KK, what were you going to say?
How you think it's gonna turn out, pretty much like that. What this is reality.
Okay. Now, reality is we are always going to face some challenges. At the one at the bottom there. And there's a reason why we need to face the challenges. Who wants to represent their country at a sport? Anyone?
Yep.
Okay, put your thumbs up, hands up, whatever else up. Okay, now who's ever done that before? Has anyone represented their country before? Couple. Has anyone represented it, you know, like a high level, played on the international stage yet? Okay, not many, if any. So to do something we've never done before, which is this flag here. Kia ora, Sachin, taumachu. This flag down here, can we see, is my mouse? You can see my mouse, eh? Yep. If that's the thing we want to do, represent our country on the international stage, maybe, go to the Olympics, maybe, go to the World Cup, maybe, and we've never done that before, and we're down here, what do we need to learn along the way in order to be good enough here? What do you reckon, Kale?
Oh, like you gotta make like rep teams and stuff.
Yeah, you're going to make teams, but what do you think we might have to learn?
Depends on like what sport you're doing, or
Yep, cool, does. So in your sport, what do you think you would have to learn in order to
better
understand?
shooting probably.
Nice, so how to shoot under pressure Elsa's saying train our minds. Nice. Sachin saying how to get there. There's a whole lot of skills we need to learn along the journey in order to perform at this stage here. If you didn't have to learn it, you would already be able to do it. Does that make sense? Like, who'd like to walk to the kitchen? Walk to their kitchen. Who'd like to do that? Or walk to the dairy down the road? Okay. Hands up if you can do that. Okay. Well, there's nothing for you to learn. So the line is straight. Okay. Because it's something you already do. If you want to do something you've never done before, we have to learn some skills along the way. Now, Lyron and Lila, what are these obstacles here? What are they there for? And what do they come up for? Why do they come up?
They're like the
Oh.
challenges and trials you get when you try and reach your goal or something.
Kia ora. They're challenges and trials. Who's had a challenge before?
Me.
Thumbs up. Yeah, me too. Now, what do the challenges and trials do, Lila?
They make it like more like harder, but like it. I don't know.
Yeah, you're on the right track. It makes it harder. And why does it make it harder? There's a reason. To stop you? Ooh, Sachin, good guess. But they are not there to stop you. These challenges and obstacles are not there to stop you. They make it harder.
Are they there to make you get better?
They're there to make you get better. Paki paki. Okay, now, nice, Kale. Make you get better. You wrote that one too. Now, how are they going to make you better? Pardon?
Gonna make mistakes and you can learn from your mistakes.
Nice. Who's learnt from their mistake? Who's made a mistake that they've learned from? Cool. Tell me what it was, KK.
Not passing the ball properly in my games.
Yeah. And what happened?
I got better at my passing.
Okay, so you had an incident. And before we intro our guest tonight, we'll just touch on this. So you had an incident in a game where you didn't pass it well. Is that what you're saying? KK?
Yep.
Cool. And so that could have been a challenge. And that challenge down here where the boulders are, what was it teaching you? What did you...
How to pass the ball properly and be better.
Cool. So did you go away and practice more?
Yeah, and I'm better at passing now.
Awesome. Paki paki. All right. So this challenge showed KK that he had to maybe go and practice some more passing. So then it's like a game. You guys, I don't know if anyone played Mario Brothers. Tamati, did you play Mario Brothers back in the day? You know, and we go up to the next level, and then there's our next challenge, and we learn a new skill. And so you're spot on, everyone. When you face your challenge, it's not there to stop you, it's there to help you grow to get better. So, hey, I don't want to take up any more time. We've got Tamati Ellison on the call. Kia ora, bro.
Kia ora.
Ngā mihi for your time. Very honoured and excited to have you here. We know you're busy with the whānau and with coaching that's already started. So this is some of the crew that have been joining over the last few days. Let's unmute team. Let's give Tamati paki paki and say kia ora on kia ora, paki paki.
Kia ora.
Kia ora tātou.
So, bro, how we usually rock into this is we get straight into it because it's only half an hour. It goes pretty quick. And we usually, start with a bit of a, whakapapa, where you're from. And obviously you played for the All Blacks and have played professional rugby for a long time and now coaching at the mighty Crusaders. So some amazing experience performing at the highest level, whānau. So get your questions ready, please. And then, we'll get into a story, from when you were a rangatahi, challenge that you faced, any tools, and then some time for Q&A as well. So thanks again, bro. Where did you grow up and how was it when you were a rangatahi?
I tipu mai o ki Porirua. I grew up in Porirua, which is in Wellington, for those who don't know. Had a really cool upbringing. I've got 2 brothers and 2 sisters, an older sister, and then the rest of my siblings are younger. So had a cool upbringing, both mum and dad, and plenty of cousins.
Mean. And as in those 11 to 13-year-old days, was the dream always to, play footy, to represent your country?
I probably wouldn't have said it was a dream. I love playing sports, touch rugby, basketball, rugby through the winter. I played soccer, rugby league. So I always enjoyed sports and being outside. Also enjoyed gaming, as you mentioned before. I enjoyed, I can't remember what it was back then. Might have been maybe PlayStation
Sega.
something. Definitely Sega when we're younger. But we're a really sporty family. Most of us were sporting all the time. So busy for mum and dad. We had a van where 2 seats in the front, 3 at the back, and then fit as many as you can in the boot, which is a normal rugby team.
So what was the motivation or the connection for you to play sport? And was that always the focus, or were you interested in anything else at that young age?
Yeah, as a rangatahi, I think wasn't motivated per se by too many things that were external. We didn't have Facebook. Or now the internet as we have it today, where we can see a lot of what other people are doing, not just in New Zealand but in the world, where our closest friends were our friends we went to with and our cousins. So I probably motivated in a different way how we consume social media now, that I look at a lot of that. But back then I just loved being outside and playing and really competitive, especially with touch rugby. I was small when I was little, so that was an area where like in rugby I struggled a wee bit, potentially because of my size, but so touch was a big one.
Sure. Give us some thumbs up, whānau, or our reactions. Give some reactions if you are into your sport, or if you're the smallest, if you have some similarities to Tamati's korero there. So at that age, bro, or during that time, what was a challenge that kind of sticks out for you that you faced at that age?
Yep. Size, definitely size. I played rugby league, so there were no weight restrictions in Porirua. For those who don't know, a big Maori and PI community. So that was a challenge. The flip side of that is I might have just caught the end of it before. The more I pushed myself or was supported by my whānau to get out on the field, probably the more I grew and the more confidence I grew. But honestly, didn't really learn how to tackle until I got to 20 years old. For most of it, I was hanging on. So that was a challenge. I think in the community I grew up in, sometimes getting a full team together can be hard. Working. We were lucky, as I mentioned at the start, we had a big van, so we could go and scoop up as many players we knew who didn't have a ride. make sure we could get a team for the weekend.
Sure. Well, with that physical challenge, bro, did you feel it was a disadvantage? And for those who might feel they're not the biggest or strongest in their field, how did you get around that?
Well, I kind of knew it was I have a brother who's 2 years younger, and he's probably been bigger than me since we were about, I don't know, 5 years old. So all the same size. And then so I kind of worked out, man, my younger brother's he's 2 years younger than me, and he's bigger than me. So I knew it was probably going to be a challenge. So, which made me focus more on my skills, whether that was a touch. I knew that, and I wasn't really fast either. So I wasn't in really athletic. So I had to really get skillful in order to be able to play touch and rugby at a high level, which meant getting out and kicking and passing the ball as much as I could.
Sure, yeah. And so how did you do that? That was just around the house with the neighbors?
Yeah, well, as I said, I luckily had a younger brother, or I had two younger brothers. We would play rugby on Saturday morning, and then for the rest of Saturday we'd go to other games and just have a ball with us. With cousins and family, when you go to their house, there was always sports. So with ball and a cricket bat, we had a field at our house that had a massive slant on it, so one team had to go up.
Yeah, one team had to run harder.
The most important thing is just getting out there, whether it's sports or other. The more you do it, the better you become at it.
So good. So what I'm hearing you say is the challenge that you had around your size, it wasn't, did you think it was trying to stop you, or did you like, okay, now I just got to get skillful and I'll progress, or I'll crack it, or what was the mindset there?
Yeah. I think I started getting good feedback, like I started to win some man of the matches or kid of the match, getting some trophies at the end of the years and stuff. I started to probably work out that what I was doing and getting heaps of reps was starting to work.
Sure.
I to do more and more. And I learned, because as I got to college and started to get older, that I had whatever obstacle came in my way. For example, I went to a small school, Mana College in Porirua, so our team was in the 3rd division, and so to make the Wellington reps was really difficult. So I ended up playing representative rugby for Horowhenua Kapiti.
Oh, wow.
And as a way to try and get myself in the frame for playing for Wellington or the Hurricanes age grade sides.
You had to take that other path. That's what you're saying. Yeah, man. And so as you progressed and got a little older, then any other challenges that was faced that you felt was trying to stop you, or did you always have a positive mindset and know, okay, this is just here to teach me how to do something better?
Well, with college, I never played any rugby in college apart from Horowhenua. So I that was feedback the other way, saying what I was doing at that time wasn't working. Probably, 11, 12, 13, I knew I was small. I started to upskill, got better. But then through college, I probably stopped the training. I didn't train as much. And I'm not sure what the years are, like maybe 9, 10, and 11, I wasn't making any rep teams. For a little period there, I started to feel like, I don't know why the coaches aren't picking me. Started to be a wee bit negative.
Wow.
I had, good support. My parents, I knew that in order to achieve anything, and I just needed to put in the work. That's in any endeavor. And I realized when my dad said, "Oh, you haven't really been training," I kind of sat down and thought, I haven't.
So you're saying in the younger years, you figured you were, you know, not the biggest, focused on your skill. You made you've made HK rep teams, and then as you got a bit older, you thought, okay, maybe this is not working, so you lost motivation.
I think I was still motivated, like, because if I wasn't motivated, I wouldn't have been disappointed when I didn't get picked for teams.
Right.
I was still motivated and I wanted to be in the rep teams. Yeah, but it was a realization that I just wasn't doing the work.
Right.
And you know, I teach that to my children all the time. If they have athletics day and they want to have a real go at beating their times from last year, it's important that some days we might have a good day and the atua might be behind us, but more often it's if we've been doing the work or we've been, you know, getting more and more reps of whatever you want to get good at, the more you do it.
Man. All right, team, as Tamati just said there, I want you to type in the chat box, what's the one thing you want to get good at and that you're going to do more reps of, as he's suggesting. Type that in there. And so that philosophy though, T, around, you know, if you put in the work, you'll get the rewards?
Yep.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, as I said, during the college, I probably, when I started missing teams, I was lucky that I still really loved the sport. So it just came from once when I left college, I played club rugby and I really trained, like I trained harder than I probably ever have trained for a whole year. That next year I played for the New Zealand under-19s. I had gone from not being able to play Wellington, all the Wellington secondary school second team, to then making the New Zealand.
Wow. In 1 year?
Yeah.
That's a good story.
Yeah. And I was training, like, I wasn't at school. I was actually working then, finished school, but I was training evening. I was just training.
Wow. And so what I'm hearing there, bro, is like your growth just went like an overdrive because you were putting in all that extra mahi training.
Yeah. Yep. And you know, even when I got named for that team, because I hadn't been named in a team for a long time, like years, it kind of probably cemented to me or really hit me that, you know, it's just a matter of doing the work.
That was the point. That was like, yeah, man, here's the example. Do the work, do the mahi, get the treats.
Yeah. And like I couldn't, even thinking about it now, it was an amazing experience because the following year I played the New Zealand 21s. So I actually jumped a year's worth of 20-year-olds. So I had 2 years for New Zealand 21.
Wow.
And again, it's only because after the 19 year, the next year, I just done the same thing. I trained every free bit of time I had.
Yeah. Choice. Oh, that's such a mean message. And I see in the chat group there, I asked the crew, what's the message that they're hearing from your korero? Honey and Jewel, give us a wave. Honey and Jewel over there, they say he worked hard to get where he wanted to be. Some of the skills they want to get better at around the KK, I think you've got running. Kale's got jumping higher. So what would you say to those whānau? What would they have to do to get better at those things? Oh, Tamati, what would you say if you were their coach?
Yeah, I would put, there's probably two parts, and I haven't mentioned the second part in my story. The first part is actually just jumping higher. You go out and get things to jump, whether it's lines on the ground or you have to be doing jumping, not just which is called like we call like specificity. You got to be specific. So do the actual thing.
Do the thing you want to do better, eh?
Want to get better at drawing, then actually draw. Don't don't read about it. Do the thing.
Nice.
And then the other side of that is how you can do the thing better. So that's getting a coach, or that's getting someone who's done that before.
Yes.
When I was younger, like goal kicking, and I made my own tea out of a Marmite jar, Marmite. but I would just train on all the time, and then I finally got a good kicking tee, and I actually had a kicking coach in one of the rep teams, and he really made things a lot easier.
Wow. Who was that?
Originally I had Daryl Halligan, and then Mick Byrne, who was coaching us at Wellington, and then became the All Blacks kicking coach.
Give us a thumbs up to those rangatahi out there who's got a coach or someone who helps them learn a new skill or get better at a skill. Anyone got one? Maui's got one. Kia ora, Maui. How important would you say that step is, Tamati?
I think it's you almost to get to the highest level, you almost can't do it without one.
Kia ora.
Of having a coach is you have to already have the motivation and have been doing the reps. So what a coach will be is more of a guide. It'll be someone who will point you in the right direction, but you could be doing the walking or the netball shooting, or they can adjust you, but you have to be the one doing the work.
Yeah, so you're saying make sure you get all that do those first before saying, coach, can you help me? Or someone, can you help me? Have the motivation to get out there and do the throws and do the running, and then ask for a coach?
Yeah, I think it makes it easier because a coach will say, for netball shooting, they will go, they will normally say, have a few shots so they can look at your. But if you haven't actually shot the ball before, coaches having to start all the way from the start, which is okay.
Yeah.
But people want to help people who are trying to help themselves. So that's a good one to remember.
Yeah, nice. That's a mean one. Do you hear that one, Whānau? Who can repeat it? That was a piece of gold there. You want to say it again, T? That was good.
Want to help people who are already helping themselves. So even now, I'll drive past someone rangatahi kicking goals, and I'll pull over and I'll go and watch them, and just, even if I won't know them, but I just have a look. And
that's mean,
because I know when I had a coach that helped me, how it really accelerated my growth. So if I see someone out there kicking, especially if they're by themselves or it's a windy day, I'll stop and go and just ask a few questions and see if they need a hand.
Yeah, no way. Kia ora. All right, team. Time for your questions. What question would you have for Tamati? Now, this could help you get along your journey faster, could help you go through one of your challenges faster. So I know Lyron and Lila, they always got some good questions. Do you have a question for Tamati tonight, Korua? Lyron, Lila?
Did you ever get distracted when you were training? And yeah.
Cool. Did you ever get distracted? See, what a question.
Yeah. I used to do training by myself. So goal kicking, I'd kick goals, and that was often by myself. So I'd kick them all and then go and get them again. The people that would distract me the most is dogs. These dogs that always used to run and get the balls, and the count for her dogs, and honestly, because I trained a lot by myself, the person who distracted me the most was normally me. So I would, maybe if I would be missing some goals or I wasn't kicking well that day, I would probably distract myself and kind of be a bit hard on myself because I didn't know how to coach myself. So yeah, I did used to get distracted.
Sure. And so how did you cope with that one when you were like distracting yourself?
Yeah, it's important that as much as you enjoy it, you have to stick to, just like you have to stick to a process. So if you imagine when your mum or you help your mum bake a cake or make scones, she will stick to a recipe. There's a time when she'll add a different ingredients unless it's an accident. She might put salt instead of sugar or something.
Yeah.
So it's when you get the recipe for whatever you're doing, if it's shooting that ball and whatever your process is, maybe keeping your arm up or having a really high elbow, so long as you can stick to your process, that's an important part to keep away any frustration, because no one likes to go out there and miss every kick.
Kilda. So have a process. There's a few questions in the chat. Sachin, who's been to the dentist today, can't talk well. But Elsa is a similar question. Do you want to ask your one, Elsa, to Tamati? And then we'll go to Kale. And then KK, I think you've got one.
What age did you start playing rugby?
I played maybe 10 or 11. I played rugby league and soccer.
Do you play rugby, Elsa?
Yeah, I played ripper for my school, but it was just like I didn't play ripper or anything. It was just.
It's all good. You played ripper. It's a win. Kilda. Kale, do you want to ask your question?
What age did you start like going to the gym and doing weights and stuff?
We like going to the gym not until I was probably maybe 19 when I was in the academy, because I probably didn't have enough money to go to the gym. We didn't have like 24/7 gyms and that, so it was quite expensive. We did have a few weights at my house that my brother and I would play with, just a couple of barbells and dumbbells, but we'd also do press ups and sit ups and fight each other. So that's how we.
And I always remember a coach of mine saying, we've got the best gym right in front of us. And I said, oh, where's that? He said, oh, you roll out of bed and you start your press ups.
Yeah.
You start your squats. He said, if you can't do 100 of those each day, then don't worry about going to the gym. It's like, oh, true.
Yeah, gyms. One thing about gyms is when you go there, you're not there to eat takeaways, because everyone in the gym is working out. So environment's important. There doesn't have to be a pace, but somewhere where people are doing the thing, the exercise or doing the thing. That's what I would say around gyms or places.
Kilda. KK, you got a question there? And then we'll come over to the chat group again. We've got Sachin and Honey and Lyron.
What's your favorite rugby team you've played for?
Oh, that's a hard question. I've been lucky to play different teams. I really enjoyed my last year playing. I played with both my brothers professionally in Kurita in Japan, and we hadn't played together before ever. So
wow, that's cool.
To play, proper rugby together as three of us.
That's cool, eh? Far out. Playing with whānau, eh? That's me.
Yeah.
Sachin said, what got you into rugby?
Just friends and whānau. We always had a rugby ball around the house, but as I said at the start, I played cricket and basketball, soccer, just anything. I surfed a lot when we were younger, so yeah, just enjoyed physical activity.
What would you say about that, bro? And you know, as young ones growing up, should they focus on one thing, try different things?
Yeah, I would try as many things as you can. Same with your mahi at school. Try different subjects and stay as curious as you can. In actual fact, stay as curious for as long as you can, because so many bits of gold. I just had a cool meeting before where you learn stuff new all the time, even with grey hair like me. So try as much as you can, especially while you're young.
We had a great korero with Hannah Tapiata on Tuesday, and she spoke about how she put a lot of her eggs, or all her eggs, in the one basket, the sport basket, and that was Hannah, the sporty or the rugby player. And then when she got injured and that stopped, she really questioned, well, who am I now if I can't do those things?
Yep.
And so the message she encouraged was, you know, for us, or Ngangatahi, to explore those other areas. I'm also a brother or a daughter or a son. You know, I'm curious. I'm Maori. I'm Tongan. So, yeah.
And seeing those are things every day that, like I even have them on my walls where it says I am. I have it with my children because we want to be. And when you say I am something, you reaffirm, and then you go and take those actions.
Joyce, do you write anything? What do you say when you I am? Is there anything you're writing at the moment?
Yeah, a big one for me is curious is a big one. Disciplined, it's important around this time of year.
Ooh, I am disciplined. Oh, I like that one.
I am going to enjoy Christmas, but be disciplined.
That's a good one.
Yep.
I think that can be our next 24-hour challenge, Whānau. Honey and Jill, do you want to ask your one? And then we'll go to Lyron and Lila, and then we might be towards the end.
Did anyone else inspire you besides yourself?
Yeah, I've had a lot of inspiration. I admire different people all the time. People who are, athletes, because I'm always involved in sports. So I'll, look at people now: Lisa Carrington, Sarah Hidini, Ari Savia. I was just with Richie Moanga about an hour ago, and those are people who were younger than me. But when I came up, I also looked at people that were older than me, my parents. I think what's important around inspiration is giving yourself time to observe people, to look at people who are really inspired by the work they do. I have a Japanese friend here in Christchurch who makes coffee, and he got an award for the best barista or coffee maker in Christchurch, and for second year in a row. And when I go to his place and I met him I didn't know he was an award-winning guy. I just went there because he was Japanese and I used to live in Japan. But I just love watching him do his thing. So yeah, I find inspiration in a lot of places.
That's mean. Type in the chat box, Whānau, who inspires you? Go on, jot it in there as we head to our last question. Oh, Sachin, kia ora, Dad. Oh, a few dads in there, kia ora. Lyron and Lila, do you want to ask that one about risks? And then we'll look to wrap up, eh?
Is it good taking risk within playing your favorite sport?
Can you say that again? Sorry.
Is it good taking risk within playing your favorite sport?
Is it good taking risks?
Yeah. So I think we take risks every day. What's important, like at the moment with the Crusaders, I'm teaching a lot of the contact and tackling and collisions. So we're doing a lot of wrestling, and that involves a wee bit of risk because people can twist their necks and twist their legs. So what's important for me is the risks are calculated. So in order to help people not get injured, we have to make sure we warm them up and everyone has the good technique. So then they can be confident in taking risks, because rugby can be a risky sport. So can basketball. But we take risks every day. And it's funny you asked that, because today, this is a true story. I was going through a green light here across you, and a car came flying through a red light their side and went between me and the car in front of me.
Whoa.
Touching us, and then the driver pulled over and had their hands in their face. So I don't know what happened, whether they were
Wow.
sure. Yeah, there's risks around this everywhere. It's important, especially from a sporting context. So we're talking about sport, that you get again, you have good coaches or good people around you, and always trust your gut. If it feels like it's a little bit risky, if the kids look too big or it looks a little bit unorganized, then you trust your gut. You be strong in that feeling. If you feel like coming off the field or off the court, then come off the court, because you can always get better and build confidence. But if you really feel like it's risky, then you trust your puku.
Kia ora, eh? That's nice. Listen to yourself. Kia ora, bro. Well, just in wrapping up, is there anything else, any other message you'd like to share with the rōpū?
I will share the same thing I'm going to share with. I have 5 children. For the Christmas, New Year's period, as school's starting to finish, if you haven't finished yet, really enjoy the last couple of days. Some of those people that you're at school with, you might not see again, depending on your age, and you might, and if there's any bit of a raru with or an issue with, it's important that at the end of something, just go and make sure you solve any of those if you had a bit of something's gone wrong at school. And most important, Christmas and New Year's period, the holiday period, make sure you get outside, get out into the beach, or get a ball or whatever. And as I said before, you don't need a lot of gear, but get outside and do something physical. It's so good for our team, all of them, taha tina na wairua hinengaro. So that would be my message.
That's mean, bro. Ngā mihi. And just to link it back to some of the korero we've had over the last 2 nights, team. So what I heard tonight was Tamati talk about, his journey. He started off, he didn't think he was big enough. That was a challenge, but that challenge possibly taught him to go really focus on skills. So he got really skillful and put some effort in. And then he may have had some self-doubt. That was the second challenge. But he stuck to the process, or his papa said, hey, have you been doing the mahi? Like, have you done the work? And so that second challenge taught him to keep going and do the mahi. And then he ultimately got the treats at this stage here. And, these are some of the thoughts that might pop up on our journey, whānau. But ultimately, where are we in this image, when we're getting those thoughts, or we're having challenges chucked at us? Whereabouts would we be in this circle? Okay. Oh, Lyron, where would you be when you're having those negative thoughts, or you're having challenges come out at you?
Out of the comfort zone.
Oh, kia ora e hoa. So we're out here. We're trying to, try new things, be curious. And then if we keep at it, then we're going to hit the magic, which is ultimately, getting towards our goal. Like Tamati did, man. Like he went in 12 months. He went from no rep team in Wellington to being in the New Zealand team. So, mean korero, bro. Thank you, Anō. Let's all give them big paki. Unmute. Let's unmute. How do we unmute? Where's that unmute button? And if you got your camera, turn your camera on so we can see your face. We need, kia ora, Kyle. All right. So we say kia ora and paki paki. Ready, two, pa.
Kia ora.
Kia ora. Ngā mihi, bro. And remember the 24-hour task. You're writing your positive things for 2 minutes each day, and you're doing your one challenge each day. So you got 2 daily tasks. Join the Mana Mind platform so you can share with us how you're going. Sweet. Awesome team. Alrighty. Hey, same time tomorrow. We'll see you there. Ka kite, eh? Hey, T, have you got 2 minutes? Or you got to shoot?